I'm old enough to know better. Though sometimes I wonder, is better really the best way to know?
I'm Mike Roth and I want to be on the next Big Brother. I'm the only person I know who's been kicked in the head at a conflict resolution workshop, and I've checked out with those people and this never happened to anybody else at their conflict resolution, but I'm sure it wasn't my fault. I've never seriously fallen out with any of my 3 daughters, and I don't understand that because I fall out with almost everybody else. What I don't do is just give up, so I do struggle with the people I've fallen out with.
The shameful thing is how I mostly earn my living, because I think it's a kind of prostitution. I work as a psychiatrist, and I hate fucking psychiatrists. I hate the whole fucking system, but there's something that intrigues me about how people do this to each other, that we wrong foot each other to the point where we don't have a leg to stand on and we look crazy. And I do have a talent for being in the situation with somebody who's supposedly crazy and just listening and just making room. And I also know very well when somebody's listening to me and making room for me. And actually I find I can talk then. It's complete fluke that I'm sitting here and I'm going to be paid at the end of the day, and you're sitting over there and everybody says you're all loony. And I know this. I know it's just the accident of today that I happen to be on this side of the table, and that is a talent that I don't think a lot of people have. I would be good in the Big Brother house because I spent 16 years living in communities, believing that we were the vanguard of the revolution, which was a bit stupid. But I've struggled with living with people. I've been aware how absolutely brilliant it can be, and how excruciatingly painful and tense and horrible. And I've noticed that the horrible times in the communes I've lived in have been a lot more pervasive and long-lasting. So this has been a question on my mind. Is there some better way?
I was brought up a vegetarian, and I've met a lot of vegetarians and a lot of pacifists, and they all seem to me, all of them without exception, seem more sneakily violent and competitive and predatory, I think I'd even say predatory, than your average Joe. Fact.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm still really curious about how we can just be, and I think I've got a handle on it, which I'd love to have some practice, and I think I've got a lot to offer.
Are you seriously saying I'm not interested in other people's points of view? Is that what you're trying to impute?
I just think you're trampling on someone's point of view.
Oh yeah, well you have to do that. Otherwise they'll never listen, will they? They don't anyway, do they? No. If you'd met as many violent, competitive, predatory vegetarians as I have, you'd be sympathetic.
I'm very keen to meet people where they are. Obviously I've got my interests and my passions. I'm a bit of a sort of super intellectual on the quiet. I read a lot of books. But what I want is to connect with people where they actually are, and for us to find out what we can work out together. So I don't want to drag people onto my intellectual stuff, because it really doesn't turn a lot of people on. I mean, it's like, what was that thing they said, and if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't going to make it with anyone anyhow. And in the same way, if you talk about ontological insecurity, you've probably lost a lot of people.
If you want to explore with me some of what I think about, I've got a really good website, which is www.relationalabundance.org.
I'm gonna tell a story about Minnie the Moocher. She was a low-down hoochie coocher. She was the roughest, toughest, frail, but Minnie had a heart just as big as a whale. Hidey, 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 ho, hidey, ho, hidey, hidey, ho, wow, wow, hidey, 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 ho.